a while, but like for many of you, I'm sure life has been kind of crazy in certain ways. I just wanted to do a few like life updates and what's going on with my hair, and kind of get back in the swing of things. Talk about some of the major points, I guess, like am I doing bright line eating? How did school go during the pandemic, the ongoing pandemic? What am I doing for work or not doing? And just some of those type of things, health updates. I'll start with the bright line eating and my health and stuff. I'm not really doing bright line eating anymore, but I have kind of tried to adapt the philosophies to my life and my way of eating on a daily basis. So incorporating tons of vegetables and fruits, of course, some fruits in limited quantities, but tons of vegetables, almost like, I would say almost unlimited vegetables at lunch and dinner. I don't really measure my food or weigh it. I don't really weigh my food. I do measure somewhat, like for breakfast, but I don't get my food scale out that much. Occasionally I do. I've been eating more like carbs and starches, kind of eating more like, I wouldn't say like my husband, but more of what he would eat, like a rice and a meat and a vegetable at dinner. Now, this all kind of started, so it wraps into the other topic of the pandemic, and that's been going on for like a year and a half now, so we've all either adapted or made changes or haven't, or, you know, we're all in different places with it, all have different feelings. But when that started, we were in a rough place anyway because my son had gotten really sick. So trying to bounce back from that and dealing with the pandemic was pretty tough on me personally, and I kind of lost control of my eating in a way. And by summer of last year of 2020, I was kind of gaining weight, I would say. So I had lost weight when my son was sick because I was so stressed out. And then I started eating more like for comfort and trying to find the good in other things besides, of course, interactions with people and stuff, because that was having to be limited. And so food became more of a comfort back then again, which I know is something else I struggle with, you know, eating emotionally or just for comfort or boredom, that kind of thing. So I was like baking, you know, gluten-free almond flour cookies for myself occasionally, or gluten-free brownies once in a while. Not all the time, probably not even once a week, but enough that it makes a dent in my progress, or any progress at all. More like the scale just went up. So I've kind of stabilized and plateaued where I am now, which is good. I'm not gaining any more weight, I don't think, because my way of eating has pretty much stabilized over the last year. But I would, of course, like to lose the 10 pounds again. It's just these pesky 10 to 15 pounds that I struggle with. It seems like my entire adult life, ever since my 20s or in college, is when I started to kind of struggle with weight. And I feel like it does have a lot to do with being hypothyroid and having Hashimoto's thyroiditis. It's harder to lose weight for sure, and to get the scale or your measurements moving the direction you want them to. So I know that eating more vegetables and eating less starchy carbs would be probably the direction that I should go, but I'm not going to limit them to the extent of like bright line women's weight loss portions. That was too rigorous for me almost. So I would probably go with like a women's maintenance plan in my head, and then just kind of try to play that out in life without going so strict on the lines. So I don't really eat flour because I'm gluten-free for like 6 years now or whatever it is. And sugar, I do have pretty much every day. I have some chocolate as usual, as I've always had. But, you know, during the pandemic, I was eating like a Reese's peanut butter cup or junky junk food. And I'm kind of trying to lay off that a little bit. Where I am in my health journey and bright line eating, I still love the idea of it. In fact, we just watched a little, well, I didn't watch it, my husband did, and he gave me a whole synopsis. I might watch it myself, but it was like a 20-minute Netflix, or I don't know which streaming service it was on, but it was like a little documentary thing on weight loss and over the history and what actually works and what doesn't. And so he wrote down the notes and the high points for me, and it was basically find something that works for you for your whole life. If you need to lose weight, you have to, you know, burn more calories than you take in, or, you know, have a slight caloric deficit. These are obvious things, and I think bright line eating does lend itself to that because vegetables generally don't have a lot of calories compared to processed foods and flour and sugar. So, you know, the basic health ideas are still there, and you have to build a foundation and, like the documentary said, make it something that works for you for your whole life. So that's what I'm kind of trying to do, and I don't think I would want to not eat like a potato or something at dinner my whole life. So I'm trying to find a balance of where I can be a little bit thinner, maybe that I am now, a little bit thinner, you know, be comfortable with that and be in shape because I like to exercise, but not have to like totally eliminate carbs from my diet except for breakfast. So that's where that is. And we have been home pretty much since February of 2020 when my son started getting sick, but he's better now, so he's not sick anymore. That's when at the middle to end of March is when my husband started to have work from home. His job moved to work from home, and he hasn't moved from that. He's still working from home. He was working remotely. He's in a digital field anyway, so he'll probably be working from home for the foreseeable future, which is great. And we did online school last year, which was a big whole other story that I could do like 3 videos on probably. We chose to do the online option, which we always have in our school district actually. It wasn't just last year an option. Online school, and they do have like a meeting place that you can go to during certain hours of the week, depending on the last letter of your name. You could make appointments to meet with your teachers if you needed to, or have Zoom meetings. But my son was in his sophomore year, and it was so he was taking some challenging classes like chemistry and algebra 2. He actually didn't pass that his freshman year because he had to stop. He couldn't do his homework the last semester, the last half of the second semester, so he didn't pass algebra 2 his freshman year, and he had to retake the 1 semester of it his sophomore year, which he's not happy about. He wanted to take calculus last year, or I should say he wanted to take pre-calc last year, and he's taking it his junior year. So he did have some challenging classes, and he has ADHD, so let me just sum it up. It was really challenging. I was going to be his helper, of course. That was my role last year. That was my job, to help him with school, and it was a full-time job, let me tell you. I helped him a lot. So it was taking up a lot of my time every day. It was very stressful at some points. I would say at most points, but if I just kind of gave up and accepted that this was the way things were, and I couldn't, not much was going to change, unfortunately. I mean, we dabble with medication with him, and, you know, trying to find strategies that work, but essentially it just took a lot of help from an adult, from me at home. I did end up learning quite a bit of sophomore school subjects. World history, English 10, reading the books that he had to read for English and helping him with that, all that stuff. Spanish, which was my major in college anyway, so I could help him with that. Didn't mind helping him with Spanish. So we are not going to do that this year. We learned our lesson, kind of knew that with him having ADHD it would be a challenge, but we just felt like it was the best choice for us during that year. And it was nice because at times we could be pretty relaxed and do a schedule whenever, do a school schedule whenever it worked for him and us, or me. So he could do school from 11 to 4 or 11 to 5, or, he didn't have to be up at 6:30, start school if he didn't want to. And most days he didn't. We kind of had an easier year in a way, but it was in a way harder on me because I had to do I had to help him with a lot of his schoolwork. As far as all of us, we've been healthy. It's been great. I haven't had a cold in over a year and a half until just 2 weeks ago. I did get a cold, and I went and got tested to see if I had COVID, even though I'm vaccinated. I got vaccinated as soon as I could at the end of March, as soon as my group opened up, and I had the Pfizer vaccine. And so I started to get kind of like congested, like cold symptoms. So I got tested, but I was negative. Fortunately, I didn't have COVID, but I did have a cold. So just one cold in over a year and a half isn't too bad. Everybody else has been healthy. We've been so blessed to have great neighbors and a great neighborhood. And summer has gone by way too fast. We did make a trip to the Ozarks as a family because I just wanted to see the area while we lived kind of closer to it. And it was all right. I wouldn't say it was my favorite place to visit at all, and I probably would never go back there, but at least I got to see it. I probably would have chosen to go to Colorado versus that area if I had to do it over again, but I just thought I wanted to see that part of the United States once in my life, and I did. And it was very chill. We just rented an Airbnb house that was actually way out in the country, and we just had 16 acres to ourselves out there, so it was nice. Just did a lot of outdoor activities, hiking, and a lot of nature activities. And now school is coming, and I hate to even talk about it or think about it, but it's like a week and a half away for us, unfortunately. And I just want to get back to doing YouTube and finding, some more purpose in my life and some more grounding and scheduling for my own sanity and mental well-being. And I just want to connect with other people, obviously too, even if it's through the internet. It doesn't bother me. I'm an introvert anyway, so I hope things are going well for you guys. I'm just eager to get deeper into these type of topics, or whatever you would like to discuss as a community. Let me know in the comments and we'll have fun. Oh, and I'm still doing my nail business. Yes, if you notice, I still have my fingernails done, fun, wild stuff. But I do still call it a part-time job, I guess, and it's really fun, and I like just bringing a little bit of joy to other people's lives with it. It's basically just a fun part-time job / hobby for me. All right, so I'll leave all my information in the description box if you do want to learn more about, Color Street Nails and connect with me there, or any other comments or questions you have, just leave them for me. I can do a question answer video if that's even necessary, or how my husband and I met video or something, if any of that would be interesting to you guys, or I can do a video about the school year with my son doing online school, and online school with an ADHD child. I could do a video about that. All right, well, I'll talk to you guys soon.